Today on EA Sports. It's Week 14 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Miami Dolphins taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins. Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers? 1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss. Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
They go play action here on first down. He's got a man, complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. Heck of a start, a 30-yard pickup on their first play from scrimmage.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver. And as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On first down, Daniels. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. To throw on second down, Daniels. And this one incomplete, threw it down at the feet of his receiver. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
There's a little bit of lightning talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Nice third down conversion and even 20 yards.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling the pressure from the defense, he uses their aggressiveness against them.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Daniels. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. 8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Daniels. Flushed out right. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
On fourth down, Daniels. And oh, it'll be intercepted. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 30, 10, 5, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So just a tremendous play there defensively on this opening drive, not just to make the interception, but to take it all the way home.
And it felt like this was a defense that was on its heels a bit to start this thing off.
Yeah, they pretty much let the other guys march right down the field until that moment.
Yeah, key play there, turned it all around. Big moment.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So Miami coming out for their second drive. And they are back down to the 500 mark after 2 straight losses. And Charles, this is a team that, to be frank, their play has really dropped off the last couple of weeks.
And Brandon, I think there's a sense around the building that they can't let this losing streak get any worse than it is. Because if they were to lose here and fall below 500, then you're playing catch up the rest of the way. They've got to take a stand and make it stop right now.
Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So the incompletion, and now in 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Back to throw. Daniels completes this one to Starks. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Daniels. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Again, he'll drop to throw. Steps away to his left. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and 2, Daniels. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
I like the call on 3rd and 2. They were geared up to stop the run. I like the fact they just hit them quick. A little slant route. All about timing there, partner.
Yeah, the timing, everything well executed. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Back to throw. Daniels. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
To throw on third down, Daniels. It's complete. This is Starks. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 21. 11 more yards there. This methodical drive continues.
I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick six just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And the Dolphins are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as strong running gets them to the 9-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On the right side, this is Miller. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Daniels. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl type season. And maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year. And with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well, partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of 85. But then they'd never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20. And with touchdown, Vikings! A great play there. 75 yards. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring. And another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's a give up the middle. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniels. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
They've looked his way quite a bit, and in my estimation, as well they should.
Well, that's now 5 catches in this first half alone.
And he picks up another first down. He's been an important part of their offense here early.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a short gain down to about the 33. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun, Daniels. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. 33 yards. And the Dolphins are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 14. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. And you figure this should be a healthy, a focused unit. And they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top 4.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy right at the beginning.
Now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case wide receiver, you got to be careful.
Certainly do, because there is a phrase in today's football that we use all the time: completing the process of the catch. Well, after you do that, where the trouble begins, right? Meaning you've tucked it away, you're trying to get downfield, but someone's always coming up trying to rake
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. On 1st and 10, Gary. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 38 yards as they have taken the lead.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
Extra point attempt to come here. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, that's what they have to do more of defensively. Not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face. Not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And they'll get him down here at the 23. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that's a 48-yard punt with the coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Throwing on 1st down. Gary dancing to his left. Here's Booker on the catch. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Gary. He finds his man. Complete. It's Potter. Touchdown. A great effort there. 42 yards. And the Vikings will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
And the Dolphins with one final possession here in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Throwing left side, it's complete. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Looking to throw. Daniels. Throwing middle, and it's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On first down, Daniels. Being chased out left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. A final shot before break. Daniels. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A big play there as time expires in the first half. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And just before the half ends, the prayer is answered defensively. A disaster there.
I know often we're surprised when this actually works. I mean, the excitement level goes way up, but maybe we shouldn't be because I know as a defender, you've got to play the ball in this situation, but you can't interfere with the receiver because, remember, it's a spot foul, and it'd be 1st and goal if it happens in the end zone, and you don't want to give up that play and that little bit of hesitancy. Often works really well for offensive guys.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat. And they've reached halftime with the score 17-10. The Lions locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they trail the visiting Denver Broncos in that one. The Broncos seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And that game all tied up with the visiting Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third.
As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a second and short. Operating from the gun, Gary. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
To throw on second down, Gary. And he's got Booker. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 26. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. The slot man in motion right. Looking to throw on second down. Gary. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, that's a good piece of quarterbacking right there because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. On 3rd down, Gary. Touchdown, Vikings! A great play there. His second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Vikings take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Point after try forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half.
Well, the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
62 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. Daniels. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
High throw, but he makes the catch.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's able to find Miller.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about it.
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line. It'll go as a sack and a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 2nd and goal.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss. Not a big one, but any loss of yardage in this position is tough for an offense.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there. With his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year.
And the Dolphins have got it back to within a score.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
And now out comes Minnesota.
And their lead cut in half by that touchdown a moment ago. They are up 7 as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Out to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Gary. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
Miami's offense set and ready to go. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The previous run good for 9. Here's second and a yard. There they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Final minute now of the third quarter. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 86 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he's got room. The 20. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 38 yards on the scamper there. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's first and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down. Now it's the first involvement on the ground for the backup running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Back to throw. Daniels. And he will throw this one out of the back of the end zone. It's incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through, and that'll bring him back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. What we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here they'll go. And oh, he coughed it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. Following the fumble recovery, Daniels. And he'll just get rid of it.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Now here's a throw that's complete, and he'll be brought down at the 27.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed, too.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive.
Well, he forces one there. It's a potential dagger as it's intercepted.
There he goes, right side. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
We dominate today.
Well, this defense, Charles, we know how good they are, but they've been beat a couple of times in this game. However, they got the latest laugh.
And how about the way they hung in there? Because you're exactly right. They're not used to being dented as they've been so far in this game. But what they just did there with that pick six, that's the equivalent of what was happening to them. They're throwing touchdown passes against them. Okay, we'll take one back against you.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Dolphins about set to go to work on offense. And we'll see if they can band back together after the pick six. It hurt badly, but still within striking distance. A two-score game with a good chunk of time on the clock.
Throwing after the interception. Daniels over the middle, complete. It's Miller. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw on 2nd down. Dan is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw again. Over the middle, it's complete. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. They'll look to throw again. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And the lead is up to 18 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Miami set to take over. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat.
Throwing after the interception. Daniels. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hit. 2nd, the first of their timeouts. As they'll head to the sideline and from the gun on 3rd down. Daniels. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniels. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Past the 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, this defense just continuing to do their thing, and now they add on to that lead with another pick 6.
And how about the way they've played this entire game? Not only have they put their stamp on it, but every time they try and mount an offensive challenge, they find a way to thwart it. And multiple pick 6s, oh yeah, they'll enjoy watching this tape after the game.
Now the try here for the point after. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Back to throw. Daniels. Flush to his right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
To throw on 3rd down. Daniels. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Vikings, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, it's a potentially fatal blow to their playoff chances as they drop to 6-7 on the year. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Today, it's the National Football League. It's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today we reach Week 15 and we've got a good matchup in store between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl-type season. And maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year. And with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. The game's first play produces 6 yards. Brings up second down.
This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season. Sitting now at 13-0 and a finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, with something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one-possession games, and they played like a team.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 19th touchdown now on the season.
And the Vikings need just 3 plays to go down and take the early lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So here are the Lions now as they get set for their opening drive. And leading him out, their veteran quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
Phillips has it, running the out route.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first. That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Fielded at the 20. We'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time? Let's keep doing it until they stop us. Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their first drive.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Looking to throw. Gary. Quick hitter here. It's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. On 1st and 10, Gary. This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Slot man moves right. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings booming away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They've been outplayed early, no question, down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He finds his man, complete. That's Phillips. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
This defense for the Vikings, they played really well in that win last week against Miami.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback,
and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Well, the goal is to get back into this game. The offense is certainly moving in the wrong direction. This is certainly a case where one team needs big splash plays right now, but unfortunately, it's the other team that's getting them.
Looking to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Following the fumble recovery, Gary. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and just a couple.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw on 2nd down, Gary firing quickly here, and that's complete. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe
he's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. With touchdown number 20 on the year.
And the Vikings have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter.
21-0 our score after 1. sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Up the middle, Ingram. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole, 3rd and long. So, Charles, this defense, they definitely know that they've got their hands full here, going up against a group that has won 7 straight. What's the key for them in this ball game?
Well, we asked their defensive coordinator that very question, and the response was, we have the mindset that they actually have to react to us, not the other way around. So it sounds to me like the plan is to do the attacking and not wait to see what they present to them.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. So it was already a gain on the completion, but tack on some more with that penalty.
Absolutely. No matter what angle you're making a tackle from, you can't grab the face mask, and that's just putting your defense on its heels just a little bit more.
So a big penalty there on the face mask leads to 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Gary looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Logan. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. Back to throw. Gary toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Gary buying time to his left. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. A chance to really put this game out of reach. Here's 3rd and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings continue to pull away here in this first half. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you've already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings booming away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, The goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out. It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now back to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he comes back with one complete.
And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45.
They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for fourth down.
There's another example where defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a fourth down.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Gary. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first.
That was awfully nice. Hit him in stride, and off he went. It was almost like the ball hitting him was like him receiving a baton, and he was running the anchor leg in a relay race.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Gary. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Come on. Hey,
they'll bring a receiver in motion right. To throw on second down. Gary. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings have taken a 5-touchdown lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And, Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes this 35-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Time for another look at this Lions offense. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. Taken down at the 30.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Gary. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On 3rd down, Gary trying to lay one up deep. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Vikings will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Now, I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right.
Point after here coming up. And the route is on here in this first half. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Lions now taking over late in this first half as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Steps, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They'll set up a throw. Caught here by Conley. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
They give to Ingram up the middle. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just 1 snap of the football. He'll get this to about the 38.
So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll get started across the border in Mexico, and it's the Golden Eagles who are out in front. The Golden Eagles trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, we're off to check out another game, and you can see there it's the visiting LA Rams who had the lead in that one. The Rams looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Finally, let's get to the desert. Let's check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks trying to hold on and claim victory. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports.
And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3.
And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Second and 11. He's got the hook up with Conley. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Pulled in at the 24. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground, and he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time.
52 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the 1st down run.
And hold on here because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Hands it off out of the gun.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the 1st down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack.
Yeah, good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. A handoff as they run the counter play. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Throwing on first down. Gary. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And the Vikings are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the third quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. With now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. And the Vikings add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
And give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and it's showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season, and those votes may have been turned into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So out now come the Lions. And they were ultra confident coming in, that's for sure. They had won 7 straight, but number 8 not looking to be in the cards right now. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll look to throw here. He finds his man, complete. It's Phillips. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. This is Phillips yet again. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
They go screen. This is Ingram. And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Taken in at the 11. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground.
And this will be a Vikings first down as he's got this up to the 35-yard line. 114 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
And here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.
So for Minnesota, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they'll drop to 9-5 on the year. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Tonight, from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's a special Christmas night edition of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
The tundra may not quite be frozen, but it's getting there as we work our way through December. The radar today, however, is clear at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we interplay here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16.
And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their 3rd-year quarterback.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers. Because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So, I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Throwing to start the drive. Mobley. And incomplete to open things up.
These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
Yeah, we're definitely in top form and pitched a shutout, as a matter of fact. That's the cherry on top of a great week of preparation. And you know what? These guys are eager to keep it going. So motivation this week, not an issue.
5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive. Certainly not the start they were looking for offensively coming off that loss last week on the road.
And they didn't do their job. They're going to feel poorly about that. But what they're going to do is look at the defense and say, can you pick us up here? And let's face it, defenses can score. We've seen it, right? They can take the ball away, create a big-time opportunity. Let's see if they can get that done.
Yeah, just something to jumpstart this home crowd. On now is the Packers punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Yeah, this is taken at the 23. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Good blocking there and nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And a look here now at their 4th-year quarterback.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's 2nd down.
The numbers for him from a week ago. Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. To throw on 2nd down. Gary. He finds his man complete. That's Potter.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 39 yards there, a big one.
The timing was absolutely true as he caught it working across the field. Plenty of space for him to roam, but notice how he keeps his head on a swivel looking for defenders who may crop up out of nowhere. That turned into a big play.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards the gain there. Now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for first.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
From the gun on 3rd down. Gary got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practice.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. His 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the early lead on the road here at Lambeau. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. McKenzie will not return this, and it'll be brought out to the 25. The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. 2nd possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
On 2nd down, Dodson. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2 drives. It looks like they're going to have to give up the football again after this one.
44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Returnable here from the 38. A great return there of 22 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
On first down, Gary. His throw caught right around the 6. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Back to throw. Gary.
Oh, it's tipped, but he still makes the adjustment.
Touchdown! A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season.
And the Vikings lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced to punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
McKenzie will not return this, and it'll be brought out to the 25.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here.
They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
Off play action. Mobley. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this was we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Mobley dancing to his left. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
On now is the Packers punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Play fake. Gary. This will be caught inside the 10. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half. They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
Looking to throw on second down. Gary to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
They'll run here on 3rd and goal, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Vikings take a 3-touchdown lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun, Mobley. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought he was going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he goes out right around the 39. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a 1st down. They run the counter. Dodson, and able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. Dodson calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
It's a gain of 16 and a 1st down for the green and gold. Looking to throw. Mobley. And this one is incomplete.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, bat it free.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And his throw here is incomplete. Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. Back to throw. Mobley. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Looking to throw. Mobley. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
And Charles, you think about this offense, and it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench, just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this regular season?
I'm telling you, you don't ask the easy stuff, do you? I mean, you created a heck of a situation there, and actually you didn't create it. You presented it, and you're exactly right. It is tricky because your eye has to be on the ultimate prize, which is a Super Bowl. That's paramount. But at the same time, how much fun would it be to go down as one of the all-time great teams and join the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl?
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On 1st and 10, Gary, he's going to let this one go deep. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 21st touchdown of the season.
And the Vikings are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Well, you talk about a team coming into an opposing stadium and just taking the life right out of a crowd. That's what we're witnessing here. 27-0, Charles.
And this defense, they've just looked completely unprepared for what's been thrown at them. And you know they're supposed to adjust series to series. That has not happened for them, so I don't think halftime adjustments are going to help a heck of a lot. They are in major trouble unless they figure out something really fast.
Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Yeah, that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Back to throw. Mobley. And he's got his man out of the slot, complete. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. To throw on 3rd down. Mobley. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he's going to have a Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Looking to throw. Mobley. They'll go for a gain of 7. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Now the offense moving quickly to the line. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Mobley. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Right there, 54, right there.
Looking to throw. Mobley. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. To throw on 2nd down. Mobley. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right, they weren't fooled, and they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing. Stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground again here. They find some open field here. And he will take this all the way down to the Packers' 20. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. 38-16, the ultimate final score. From there we say, so long, America. Hello, England. As we head over the Atlantic to check out the action in London. And they were winners as they defeat the visiting New England Patriots. A touchdown the difference, 21-14, the final score. And then finally, a good one on Monday Night Football to wrap up the week between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race, very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Looking to throw on second down. Gary firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. From the gun on 3rd down. Gary. He finds his man, complete. It's Potter. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 67 yards.
And the Vikings are pouring it on.
As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now the try here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. Throwing to start the drive. Mobley. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Steps away. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
Throwing on first down. Mobley. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. Off-play action. Mobley. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
This is taken at about the 14.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
Throwing to start the drive. Gary. He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the night.
And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
A try here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
The Green Bay offense ready to take over. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man coverage were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
On first down, Mobley. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. On second down now, Dodson.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down.
Push him back. Push him back. 54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54.
Operating from the gun. Mobley looking middle, and that's complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Now a throw here, hauled in.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Back to throw. Mobley rolling to his right. This will be caught at about the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Mobley forced out to his left. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. So they lost yardage and they declined the penalty. There's no logical reasoning to do that.
I'm trying to go through this little Rolodex in this small brain of mine, and I'm coming up with nothing, partner. I've got zip on that one. Take the yardage, right? Take the penalty. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. No gain on the play that time as we have now reached the end of the 3rd quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the gun on 3rd down. Mobley into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
And the Vikings are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Throwing to start the drive. Gary. He finds his man. Complete. That's Logan.
Finding room at midfield.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent in preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And, my goodness, it has been a dominant display in front of a national audience.
Yeah, they thought it, and it certainly came to fruition, didn't it? They've been dominant in so many ways in this one. If you weren't paying attention to this group before, you certainly are now after seeing this type of victory from them.
Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Gary. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 41 yards.
And the Vikings add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
McKenzie will not return this, and it'll be brought out to the 25.
Now the Packers get set to go.
And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be second down. Looking to throw. Mobley into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, this game was already decided, Charles, let's be honest. But now another feather in the cap of this defense as they pick them off for the second time.
You're right about that. Things have been going pretty well for them, to put it mildly. But they're still out there hunting for big plays and get another one right there.
Here we go. 18 Cardinal. Let's go.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that, plus 3.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. Touchdown! A 16-yard touchdown.
And the Vikings take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bulling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Extra point splits the uprights, and this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
McKenzie will not return this, and it'll be brought out to the 25. Green Bay's offense ready to go again. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third. From the gun on third down. Mobley. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On now is the Packers punter, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Pulled in at the 24.
A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And the football going back to the Vikings offense. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard. But they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives. And I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
They'll start on the ground here on first down.
It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 137 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 15 more yards there, and quickly another first down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Pushes him over. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play and the other one obviously not ready at all?
Boy, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed asleep.
So for the Vikings,
they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0.
And they'll have another road date next week with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for Green Bay,
they fall under 500 now as they drop to 7-8.
And they'll try again next week at home against New England. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.